The back glass replacement of the Google Pixel 8 Pro is very similar to the Pixel 7 Pro. Here is the new back glass that I'm going to install on this Pixel 8 Pro. For this one, I will be using alcohol primarily in order to remove the back glass on this Pixel 8 Pro. The first thing that I'm going to do is to remove the back glass at the bottom of the device, and after that I'm going to remove the glass on the left side of the back glass, and at the end I will do the right side of the back glass. The way the back glass is broken might be an issue. In order to avoid breaking the wireless charging coil and NFC right below the broken back glass, the first thing to do is to add alcohol with the blade. I just dip the blade inside the alcohol and bring the blade near the broken back glass on this Pixel 8 Pro, and you will see that the alcohol is going to get sucked inside the broken back glass. Now I will take my blade after dipping it inside the alcohol and start creating a small gap between the broken back glass and the frame of the device. After having the first opening, it should be easier to remove the broken back glass because the double-sided tape that Google used should be in contact with the alcohol. The bottom portion of the Pixel 8 Pro does not have any major component. There is no component on that area, so I am able to insert the blade and break the glass freely, and after that I can simply take my blade again, dip it inside the alcohol and continue removing, cracking the broken glass and remove it. It is extremely strange. The glass that Google used for the Pixel 8 Pro is very similar to the glass that Apple used. It shatters everywhere and very easily. With the Pixel 7 Pro, it was much easier to remove a big piece of glass without having glass shattered everywhere. I'm not really sure why, but the complexity of the back glass replacement on these Pixel devices tend to get complex, more complicated every year. I noticed that Google used the double-sided tape that they use for the Pixel 7 Pro, and also they double used the double-sided tape that was on the Pixel 6 Pro. So in this Pixel 8 Pro, it is much harder to remove the glass as opposed to the Pixel 7 Pro or the Pixel 6 Pro. After saying that, make sure that you're careful while trying to remove the broken glass because it might leave scratches on the frame of your Pixel 8 Pro. While removing the glass right below the camera bump, make sure that you're careful not to insert the blade on the inside because there are some components on that area. You need to be careful while inserting the blade and removing the glass. All the glass at the bottom of the frame has been removed, and also on the left side. I'm simply looking inside the device to make sure that they didn't change anything coming from the Pixel 7 Pro. After looking inside, I can see that it is pretty much the same as the Pixel 7 Pro. The wireless charging coil and the NFC is glued to the broken back glass. If you've not seen my video on the Pixel 7 Pro back glass replacement, the number one risk of doing this back glass replacement is losing the wireless charging and the NFC. As you can see, wireless charging is still working, and we can continue with the removal of the broken back glass, and after that I'm going to separate the broken back glass from the wireless charging and NFC. So at this point I decided to continue and remove the broken back glass right below the camera bump. After removing all that, I tried to pull the broken back glass from the left to the right. Unfortunately, that will not be an option because if I try to do that, I might damage the wireless charging coil. So I decided to remove the broken back glass on the right side of the device. I'm going to remove all the broken back glass that is still glued to the frame of the device on the right. So at the center of the broken back glass is the cable for the wireless charging coil and NFC circuitry. So you need to be extremely careful while removing the broken back glass in that area. After removing the broken back glass, you can clearly see the cable. If you do it wrong, the cable might get damaged. You just lose your wireless charging and NFC. You just need to continue working your way in removing all the broken back glass on the right side of the Pixel 8 Pro. Now that everything has been removed, I can simply lift the whole broken back glass, and you can see the NFC and wireless charging is still attached and glued to the broken back glass. The next step is the most difficult part because we need to separate the broken back glass from the NFC and wireless circuitry before we can start the installation of the new back glass. Before doing anything, you need to make sure that all the broken back glass is fully separated from the frame of the device. So currently there is no glass holding the broken back glass on the frame of the device. It is only held by the flex cable coming from the motherboard. This is what you want before you start removing or separating the wireless circuitry and NFC from the broken back glass. So here again, after doing all this, make sure that you test the wireless charging to make sure that it is still working and not damaged. If it is damaged, you can simply cut the cable coming from the motherboard and replace the back glass, and after a while you can find a new wireless charging and NFC circuitry for the replacement. In order to separate the broken back glass from the NFC and wireless, you need to use alcohol. You can use the blade like I did, but you need to be extremely careful because the blade can cut. Or you can use the other side of the green scalpel, the plastic handle, in order to bring the alcohol near the wireless charging area. Any flat plastic tool can do the trick also. The concept is very simple. You need the alcohol to undo the glue that is attaching the broken back glass to the whole wireless circuitry. This is precisely why I have a napkin between the broken back glass and wireless and the frame of the device, to avoid having alcohol spill on the inside of the device. And also, this is the cable that you do not want to cut because it is going to damage the wireless charging and the NFC. You need to dip the blade inside the alcohol and bring it near the flex cable and pull slightly the broken glass upward in order to separate it from the flex cable and the whole wireless circuitry. You can also use a flat metal tool like the one that I'm using currently, and also bring the alcohol directly and pour it inside the wireless charging and the whole flex cable area. While doing that, make sure that the napkin is not completely wet, as if it is completely wet, it is not going to absorb the alcohol and prevent the alcohol from going on the inside of your device. And also, if the napkin is wet, just replace it with a dry napkin and continue using the alcohol to remove the broken back glass or pull the wireless circuitry and all that from the broken back glass. You need to be extremely careful and patient while doing this process, because one wrong move, you risk to cut the flex cable and you will lose wireless charging and NFC. As you can see, this is a big piece of glass and I cannot simply lift it or crack it and remove it. I am simply adding alcohol on the inside in order to separate the whole wireless charging and all circuitry from the broken back glass. Also, at some point, I added 2 pieces of tape directly on top of the battery in order to avoid having alcohol pass and go on the inside of the device. You can see this is what you need to do in order to avoid having a Pixel 8 Pro without the wireless charging and NFC. You need to take your time, dip the blade or the plastic inside the alcohol and bring it near the wireless charging and the broken back glass and start pulling the broken back glass slightly upward. Do not force anything, be patient and you will succeed. The most important part is the glass at the top directly below the camera bezel. That is the part that has all the flex cable. At the bottom there is no flex cable, you have only the wireless coil. You're going to understand better after I remove the broken back glass and you can see the whole wireless charging and the NFC circuitry. So at this point everything is good. I can simply lift the broken back glass and you can see the wireless charging and NFC circuitry is right here. As you can see, I have 3 napkins right below the wireless charging in order to avoid having alcohol go beyond the battery. Here's the piece of tape that I added on top of the battery and you can see the motherboard is right next to the battery on the right. So if you have alcohol go beyond that point, you can damage the motherboard and also damage the screen. This is what happened to my Pixel 7 Pro when I did the back glass replacement last year. Now it is time to clean the excess alcohol that is still on the wireless charging and NFC circuitry. You just need a napkin and have the napkin pressed on the wireless charging and NFC. It is going to absorb all the alcohol that is still on the wireless charging and NFC. So here you can clearly see all the flex cable is at the top of the wireless charging coil, and at the bottom you do not have any flex cables, which is why I was saying it is much harder to remove the broken glass at the top, because you need to be extra careful not to damage the flex cables. Before doing the next step, I decided to blow some air on the wireless circuitry to help it dry with the alcohol on it. Now it is time to remove the tape that was placed on the inside directly on the battery and the motherboard. While removing the tape, make sure that you're careful and look for any cable that might be in the way of the tape. For the installation of the wireless charging and NFC assembly, I added a little bit of B7000 at the bottom of the graphite tape in order to have it fixed in place. Since it is sitting directly on the back of the battery, you should not have any glue on that area. Next, carefully place the wireless charging and NFC on the back of the battery. Apply a little bit of pressure on the area where you added the B7000. The next step is going to be cleaning, removing the other broken glass that is still attached to the body of the device. One last test before the installation of the new back glass. The wireless charging is working, so we can go to the installation of the new back glass. The new back glass has pre-installed double-sided tape, but you can see this is not really good. It is a poorly made double-sided tape, so I'm going to use B7000 in order to seal this Pixel 8 Pro. You need to add B7000 on the four corners of this Pixel 8 Pro and also on the inside, but do not add B7000 to any of the components that you can see. Now you simply need to align the back glass with the frame of the device, especially right below the camera bump. After aligning that one, you can simply press the back glass on the frame of the device. After installation, we are not done yet. Test the wireless charging to make sure that it is working before you add some clamps in order to apply pressure, constant pressure to the back glass. Using repair clamps is not mandatory, but it is the best option if you want the back glass to be properly sealed. As always, like, subscribe and share, and I hope that Google make things easier with the Pixel 9 Pro. If they don't, it's all good, I will figure it out.